All right, guys, we got another one. Yes, we have another one. So about a week ago, I did a video about Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement with a game called Capes. Now, this particular video game has been out for a couple of months now. Unfortunately for them, though, they thought they would be able to hide their involvement with Sweet Baby Inc. for the entire existence of their video game. But little did they know that the internet is extremely thorough when it comes to finding Sweet Baby Inc. nonsense in video games. Now, we got Hypnotic Entertainment, community strategist, apparently is saying that the company will not work with Sweet Baby Inc. moving forward, but then also decides to accuse the gamers of trying to harm an indie developer. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this particular developer decides that it's in their best interest, while trying to virtue signal to gamers and saying and promising they're never going to work with Sweet Baby Inc. again. They also decided to say that it's the gamers' fault that they are currently hurting for partnering with Sweet Baby Inc. You cannot make this up. So let's get into this article from That Park Plays. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if you guys have seen gameplay from Capes. I have, unfortunately. I didn't play it, obviously. I'm not going to play anything Sweet Baby Inc. related. But still, I saw it. I saw the gameplay, and I was like, you know what? I can see why people didn't like this game. You know, even without the Sweet Baby Inc. involvement, I can see exactly where the mindset was when they made this game, right? The overly diverse cast where they're trying to check off clearly every single box imaginable that they could potentially check off. It is ridiculous just how much fake diversity, superficial diversity is in this game. And they throw it in your face. And then at the same time, they try to tell you that they're not throwing it in your face. It's absolutely insane. It says a community strategist for Hypnotic Entertainment, the publisher of Spitfire Interactive's Capes, revealed that the company would no longer work with Sweet Baby Inc. in the future. However, he also accused gamers of trying to harm Spitfire Interactive by opposing the woke ideology of Sweet Baby Inc. Now, I think the last game that I played that had Sweet Baby Inc. involvement, officially anyway, was, I believe, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, if I'm not mistaken. And Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement in that game was almost negligible. Like, you couldn't even see anything that they did. But that tends to be the case when it comes to Japanese-led games, right? But unfortunately, when it's something that's Western developer or anything other than Japanese, right? It could be French, you know, whatever, like Ubisoft. At the end of the day, you're going to see their involvement a lot more. And I think it's because the Japanese fight against a lot of the bullshit that these consultancy firms try to push on the video games. Now, regardless of the fact, companies like Square Enix, if they want to do business in the West like they have been, and they want to continue to do it, they're going to have to start hiring consultancy firms. As sad as that is to admit, that's just the case. They want to get ESG money. They want to get the same funding as everybody else, and they don't want to fall behind anybody. So at the end of the day, they are going to hire consultancy firms. Now, the ironic thing about all that is by doing so, they ended up losing so much operating revenue. They lost about $300 million in operating revenue. So really, wasn't really worth it. But I guess for the CEOs, it was, because ultimately, they get their money up front. But here's the thing. It was brought to public attention that Spitfire Interactive and Hypnotic Entertainment had worked with Sweet Baby Inc. for Capes in the game's end credits. The credits were showcased in the gameplay walkthrough. Now, I saw this particular clip right here with Sweet Baby. This shit is ridiculous, right? The fact that you didn't even put it on your website, right? Sweet Baby Inc. didn't put it on their website. Everybody clearly tried to hide it, but then you wanted to sneak it in the credits because you got to know that they got to get their credit somehow, some way. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to build their portfolio of companies they've been able to swindle out of money. They had to do it, you know, in one way, shape, or form, and they did it with the credits, and people caught on to it very easily. Now, shout out to Cabrutus, by the way, for being one of the people to report on this, man. Guy does amazing work with DEIdetective.com. Definitely go check it out. Now we got Penta, the community strategist for Hypnotic Entertainment, initially reacted to the game being added to the curated list, writing on the game's Steam forums. We already had 3 months and 14 pages of constructive discussion about DEI in the forum, and delivered a gameplay update focusing on exactly what the player base wanted, leading to an 80% positive review score. He continued, you don't have to take my word for it. You could actually read up on it yourselves. Now, we went over this whole statement by Penta. Let's see what they're actually talking about when it comes to the nonsense that they just recently said. Now, in a post titled Conclusive Statement About Us. Oh, there's a new post. Okay. Penta explained why there are 12 Sweet Baby Inc. employees listed in the credits if all Sweet Baby Inc. does or did was act as an intermediary to find voice talent. He said, it is an industry norm that if you contract a company, you credit the whole company, or at least that they tell you who they want listed in your credits. If we really would have wanted to hide something, we wouldn't have put SBI in the credits at all, nor would we have already been talking in the Steam forums about it during the last 3 months after release. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, because ultimately you putting things in the credits, like I say all the time in my other videos, most people don't watch the credits, right? I know I don't. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Most people don't watch the credits. I'm not one of them either. So I would have never saw it if it wasn't for somebody else catching on to it. And you know what? Now that we're dealing with all this nonsense, I'm going to probably end up having to watch the credits. I'm going to have to look through everything and watch the credits to see that there's no bullshit being hidden in there, because ultimately that's what you try to do by putting in the credits in this game. He then indicated that Data Link will no longer work with Sweet Baby Inc. moving forward. The devs collaborated with SBI in early 2022. We are aware of the statements being done by individuals connected to SBI in the years to come, but in 2022, there was no sign of that. It is likely that the decision would have been a different one in 2024. Finally, he admitted that regardless of Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement, the company is committed to inclusivity and equality. He wrote, as a company bringing games to an international audience, we take the term inclusivity and equality literally. We don't condone hate towards any type of group. This includes among POC, LGBTQ, and others, white male gamers as well. You know, you may say white male gamers, but ultimately, actions speak louder than words, right? So I would have to see you defend a white male gamer against racism or something along the lines, like I know you would do for black people, LGBTQ people, and whatnot. I would have to see it to believe it, because we know that these developers don't actually mean that when they say it. And then he says, it is sad that we have to actually word it out. It should be a given. We are all gamers, no matter who we are. If a diverse cast of heroes makes you not want to play capes, that's your decision. But we are surely not the enemy. At least we don't see you as one for making this decision. Well, because you making a diverse cast tells everybody else that your mindset in this game had to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion first. It is very hard to believe that you, as an indie developer, decided it was amongst your best interests to focus on diversity first instead of making a great game that people wanted to play. At the end of the day, man, it's very clear where your mindset is at. And sure, maybe you're not like as bad as SBI. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You're an indie developer at the end of the day. You don't have the money to be as bad. I'm just being real with you. But I really just don't believe you. I don't think that this is a accidental thing. I don't think that you didn't try to hide it. I think that you full on well knew what was happening with this particular diversity consultancy firm, and you decided to want to try to hide it when you released the game, and then try to mask it even more by having conversations around said topic of DEI in your forums to make it seem as if you're a developer that is listening to its fans. You know what I mean? Then it says that, but at the moment, some, not all of you, are actively trying to harm a small indie dev studio to teach them a lesson that they will never really need to learn, he concluded. Well, I think you did. I think the only reason why you're making a statement right now trying to inform us that you're no longer going to work with SBI in the future is because of what people are doing. So yeah, it is okay for them to protest in their own manner and say, you know what, so long as you partner with SBI, we are not going to support your game. We're going to refund your game. We're going to do everything. We don't care. Like we are absolutely going to boycott you in every scenario. So if you want to choose SBI, go for it. If you want to choose the gamers, then let us know. Now, according to your statement, it's seems like you are choosing the gamer, but obviously time is going to tell. We're going to have to see if that's the truth. But ultimately, it seems like you're going in that direction. So maybe you'll start getting the benefit of the doubt from people. But in terms of capes, unfortunately, that game was developed working alongside SBI, and that is just what it's going to be, man. Like, that game is going to get boycotted. That game is going to be dead, and hopefully you learned your lesson, and the next game you come out with, you don't have that. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.